everyone. Welcome back to a podcast because I still don't have a cool name for it, so it's just a podcast question mark. Today I have Billy from Billy Rooster Band. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Jeremy. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Just excited because tomorrow's Halloween when we're recording this. This won't be out till like November sometime, but Halloween's tomorrow, so I'm excited for that. I will love Halloween.
Oh yeah, sounds great, man.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
got.
I always have fun on Halloween. It's always my Halloweens these days they're like chill out at home, but it's a fun time. If you're not doing anything, fine. If you're doing something, have fun with it.
Yeah,
But I definitely I love Halloween.
yeah. You got any plans? Well, I know you just said you hang out at home, but do you have any like plans for the day?
Um, I'll go to work and then just chill with my dog after.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Chill time with the puppers. What kind of dog do you got?
We got an English Springer Spaniel named Rosie.
Oh, I have a
Hmm.
Australian Shepherd chocolate lab mix. His name is Hunter, and then I have a Sheltie bred Sheltie named Scout. So
Nice.
they'll be probably dressed up tomorrow. I don't know if they'll be dressed up. Actually, no. Hunter hates wearing clothes, and Scout's like, I don't care, just pet me. So I guess first question, because band. How did Billy Rooster Band become a thing? Like, how'd you all start? So how Billy Rooster Band become Billy Rooster Band?
Well, let me take you back a couple years. So in 2019, me and Austin, this was before he joined Heartbent. Um, we were in a band called Serotonin, and we were just like doing bar scenes and open mic nights, and we had like a very hectic work schedule, so we only rehearsed in the mornings, and I'd go get everybody, and one day someone in the band just started calling me Rooster, and that was a nickname that kind of stuck, for being the early bird. And the nickname stuck, and when that split, I actually decided to adopt that as a stage name, like Billy Rooster. Um, and I swear to God, I used to play these bars and they actually used to take the check out to Billy Rooster, and I had to explain to them, that's a stage name. That's not my real name. Um, but I did that for a couple of years, and then finally I just decided, you know what? Let me put another band together, and I'll a make that the band name, Billy Rooster Band, so that no one ever makes a check out to Billy Rooster ever again. Um, but and that's not the real reason. But nice bonus. They actually make the check out to the right people. But uh, I found obviously Austin was my first call because I'd played with him before. I've known him for 10 years, and I called him and he was like, "I'm in. I'm happy to do it." He was a very good sport, and I'm very lucky that he's one of my best friends. And I had played with Brendan before, just from gigging around, and we were actually at one point playing in like a backing band for like this girl I knew at High Tops, and I went to college with, or sorry, community college with our original guitarist Matt Asen, who is no longer in the band. He is now the bass player for Cat Sensei. But that's basically how the first lineup started. And that's what became Billy Rooster Band. And then not long after that, we kicked out the first album, which That's Just Life, which came out July 10th of 2024, and we've been doing good. We've been getting these shows, they're getting better, and we're sounding better as a group, and you know what very happy about it. And then we were able to do the second album, which we all loved. I think writing the second album was a lot easier than writing the first, because when I was writing the first, I was still kind of putting the band together. But after the band came together, it was like, okay, now we have our sound. So like I think I that made writing the second album so much easier. I love them both, by the way. But as far as like writing goes, yeah, um, it was easy. It was just easier on me, and I love these guys. When Matt left, we brought Garrett along, who you met. Um, and it's been a great ride, and we're looking forward to making more music.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's. It's funny how everything goes back to Cat Sensei. I just met them this year. Because Shezzy's also in my horror film that's gonna be filmed next year. So I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, I saw that.
I'm like
Yeah,
everything.
Shezzy's a good dude.
Yeah, everything goes back to all these bands that I met this year. Like I'm like, oh wow, like full circle, like complete, like
I mean, Billy Rooster Band is kind of full circle, it's like because I mean, I remember when promoting the our album show at Zen West earlier this year, Nick kind of um from Rapala, obviously. He kind of pitched us as an all-star band because of Austin, who's in Heartbent, and also Brendan, who's in, well, Old Eastern, among other things.
yeah, yeah. You're a super
Um,
group.
yeah. I mean, and I've been doing my thing around Baltimore for a while, and um,
Yeah,
so yeah, I mean, I like the pitch, makes
yeah.
us look good.
Yeah. It's also funny because when he was in that bout of the cow group chat, he's like, "How many more shows you all gonna play?"
Oh my God, yeah, like we were on a roll with getting them.
Yeah, because like when I had you guys, because you had just played, I think you had just come off the Autobar show in July or August when I asked
No,
y'all.
we had just come off the when we played Lawn Sphere.
Well, I mean,
We had just come off
when
the
I asked you guys to play it, you had just come off the Autobar
oh
show.
oh yeah, we had just I think we had probably just come off the Autobar show when you asked us to play, but at the time
Yeah,
of the show, the show before the Lawn Sphere show was the album show, I believe.
yeah, yeah. It was just like, how many more shows y'all gonna play? I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, I think everyone got a good kick out of that.
Yeah, because honestly, yeah, you guys were ruling there. You guys were announcing shows like left and right, pretty much. Like, oh, we're
Yeah, I
playing.
mean, and we got a good number of shows to close out the year. We've got
Got
the
Pie
next show we're
Shop.
doing is we're going to be back at the Auto Bar, which is, one of my favorite venues. We love playing there. That'll be November 21st. Then we're making our debut in DC in December.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I love.
yeah,
You're playing a good group of people too.
yeah. Oh yeah, we've gotten lucky with some of the artists we've been able to play with this year. I remember when we first started Billy Rooster Band, um, the show, we were playing with a lot of people who I knew from like open mic nights in Towson, like the High Tops Backstage Bar and Grill open mic. So those were people that I knew from there, and they're great musicians. Uh, we were it was kind of, I would call them somewhat weird shows just because there was some, genre crossing, I guess, for lack of a better term. But you know what? We're always very fortunate that we play with such solid musicians, like no matter what background. I've never had anything bad to say about groups we've played with and have had the pleasure of sharing a stage with. No unnecessary drama, nothing, nothing bad. You know, and I'd be happy to play with these guys again.
Yeah. What is So I want to go back. I don't know. Well, you've been doing it since 2019. With this other split, obviously. Who's this?
Well, 2019, like after Serotonin Split, that was very much during COVID.
Yeah.
Um, that was I kind of just took the bar route. Like I was playing I was like the guy playing in the bars. I was playing like 3 to 4 hour bar sets. Occasionally take requests, and that's I have nothing against that. I'll never knock a musician who does that. It's paid work. I mean, and it was good paid work, and you know what, I enjoyed it, and I'll still take one of those bar sets here and there.
Yeah, I actually talked to a musician once. They said I do it because it funds my album. It actually funds my original work. So yeah,
Actually, you know what? For a while there, I think my bar gigs were funding the first album because, like I said, it took a little while to put the others, to put the band together. Um, but yeah, that's how I was funding the album was through the gigs. That's how I booked studio time. That's how I like knew my budget.
yeah, yeah. Because studio time for those that may think it's cheap, it's not
It
cheap.
ain't.
It's not
Yeah,
cheap. You might get somebody that's
it's
gonna
not.
cut you a deal, but that's not. It's not cheap.
Yeah, like I record in Middle River with John Grant from Secret Sound Studio. He was my audio professor at CCBC, and he gives us a good rate, but Yeah, studio time, it doesn't matter if you get a good rate or not, it's gonna be pricey, you
Yeah.
better, I would say if you are going into a studio with a budget, it doesn't matter what you're recording, if you don't have at least, 300 bucks to spend on this, don't go in because, you may think it's going to take like an hour because some places do it by an hourly rate.
Yep.
It's never, if you think something's going to take 2 hours, I promise you it's never going to take 2 hours.
Nope. It never does. Cause in
You
fact,
can prepare for it all you want.
yep.
Um, but the fact of the matter is, you know what? This is going on tape. We got to make sure this sounds just right. And
Yep.
so that means doing as many takes as we can
Yep. And not
to
to
get
men.
like that right take, that
Yeah,
perfect take.
and not to mention, some people told me that they like it may be an hourly rate, but sometimes they have you book a minimum of at least 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, because you're also
And
using their
that's
time.
yeah, exactly.
So,
You know?
yeah, I
Um
it's very. I've seen a pay. I've seen a paycheck for. I've seen pay go to people. I've seen like whoa, like wow, like I didn't expect it to be that much. Like what?
yeah.
like
I mean, it's what they're doing for a living and it's like
yeah,
I can see how they can make that kind of money. I mean, I was an audio major at CCBC too, so that could have been that actually could have been me at the chair at one point.
yeah. Oh,
But
so you could technically theoretically, if you had the space, you could theoretically record your band.
maybe, I would have to I'd probably do like a little deep dive into like, going back over what I learned because this was I this would have been like 2018, 19, something like that. So I'd have to like go through all my notes, go through my books, like actually relearn this stuff because, it's been years and,
Yeah,
I don't remember everything.
and
So
technology's changed over the years.
that too, that too. Like, I think I would need like if I wanted to get into like recording my own stuff again, like actually be the guy behind the board, I think I would need like a refresher course.
Yeah. So I guess because you were talking about bar gigs and stuff like that and open mic nights, did you ever get the opportunity to play at Black Eyed Susie's?
No, I did not. And I heard about Susie's all the time. I did make it up to Naughty Dogs and JD Smokehouse where I met CJ from Act 109. I never made it to Susie's though, because here's the thing. Susie's, I believe it was on Wednesday nights, if I'm not mistaken. That's when their open mic was. And that fell on top of High Tops open mic night. And I was going and I always went to High Tops, that because that one was my favorite open mic. That's where we had like we had like the best crowd at High Tops too, and
Yeah.
that's how I put some of the earlier Billy Rooster shows together. Was through some of the people I knew there, like just to name a couple, like if you've heard of Ariella Joy and the Silver Lining, I met her through there. Um, and Storm Nightinger and Brody Wingate and a list of people who I've done these shows with. Um, I met through the High Tops open mic, and it's a sad thing they're not doing their open mic nights anymore. But yeah, that's why I never made it to Susie's because those were I was hanging with my friends over there. I would have loved to have caught Susie's at one point though, just never got around to it.
Yeah. High Tops is good though. I love High Tops. I actually really like their chicken tenders. They're actually really, really good.
Yeah. Um, if we're talking about places we played where they have good food, you got to throw it to JD's though.
I've never been there.
Oh, you never went to JD's Smokehouse?
No, where's that at? Or where what?
That's in Churchville. It's right by it wasn't far from Susie's, I believe. That's where CJ from Act 109, he used to work there. I used to go to their open mic night on Tuesdays and I played there a couple times. I was like, "Oh God, I need some of this JD's food." It was really good food.
Is
I miss that place.
like oh, it's
I've
gone.
told my yeah, it's gone now, unfortunately. I used
Oh,
to tell people, that was like the only place where it was like I don't care if they take it out of my paycheck. I'm leaving with food.
right.
It was that good.
Oh man,
And I say that as the country club line cook because that's how I make my living, So I've seen a lot of stuff.
yeah, it's been yeah. I've never. Knock on wood. I hope my favorite place in the world never closes. I'll cry. I probably will cry forever if that happens.
Yeah.
You know what I don't. Well, you probably can guess what my favorite venue is.
Zen West.
Yeah, yeah. I've attended it.
I love Zen West. I even before I was playing there because I used to see Relentless Souls over at Zen West. One of my buddies used to be their bass player.
Oh, nice. The only person I've ever met from Relentless Souls was Tyler. That's the only person I've ever met. I
I
never
feel
got
like that's standard though.
well, but I
Um,
also never seen them either. So
yeah.
I never got the
Um,
opportunity to see them because they've always been either on hiatus or just not doing shows. And I'm like, well, whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, Zen West. Actually, how I discovered it was a few months before. I think it might have been April of 2022. I had gotten an ad for I Set the Kill coming to Baltimore, and that's where they were playing. And my friend was a big I Set the Kill fan. I was like, hey, they're coming to Baltimore. He's like, yeah, right, they never come here. I'm like, look. And he's like, oh, God, where's that at? I said, no idea. So we bought tickets, not knowing what we were getting ourselves into. And then
Not knowing what parking would be like too.
not knowing what parking would be like, although we Ubered because we both were big drinkers at the time, so we were being safe.
Smart.
If
I
you
feel like if you're going to go to a show in Baltimore, though, Uber is, whether you're drinking or not, Uber is probably the safer choice because, a lot of these places, parking can be a bit of an issue.
and paying
Uh,
for parking.
oh yeah, that too. Um, like, shit, I think for Metro Gallery, you know what, I've kind of, you know, taken a shot and drove down there. And you know what? It's a good thing I leave for Metro Gallery when I do. I'll leave like an hour before, um, or maybe like 45 minutes before doors. And because it doesn't take me long to get down there, but it'll take me a long time to like circle the block to see if a parking spot opens up.
Yeah, when me and my friend went to Metro Guy, we parked in that little parking lot across the street.
That opened back up?
Well, at the time, I haven't been to Metro Gallery since it's closed. I haven't gone to Metro Gallery since July of 2023. No shows have really caught my eye there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
When me and a buddy, we went to like Heartbend's album release show there, the one that sold out, and I had no idea at the time that that parking lot across the street was closed. So when I saw that, I was like, God damn. We ended up circling the block like three times
yeah.
before we found a spot. But yeah, so if you're tuning into this podcast now and you want to get into Baltimore shows, just beware of that. Parking can be
A
tricky.
nightmare. Depending on where you're going, it could be a nightmare.
Yeah, yeah. If it's auto bar, you know what? I have friends who live in that area who can let me park outside their house, and it's not that far of a walk. But just have a plan for it. It's
Yeah.
just like where I'll leave it.
If you go to Zen West, park across the street in that little parking lot. It's free after 6 p.m. I
Exactly.
love that place. That's my favorite. I will say that's probably the best parking ever for a Baltimore venue I've ever had experience with.
Well, yeah, because it's free parking.
Yeah, across the street, but it's not even. Actually, I can even say I don't mind walking around Zen West area, unlike being downtown. I'm scared sometimes, but hadn't had any
I mean, like,
issues.
Zen West is basically Towson, though.
Yeah, it's
We may be
borderline.
across the Baltimore line, but it's technically Towson.
Yeah,
Let's face it. Towson University is like, what, not even a mile down the street?
yeah, it's not far. And you know what the crazy thing is? I'm gonna tell you this funny story. The Senator Theater, which is down the street. I've been going to that theater for a couple years before I knew about Zen West, and it was down the street the entire time. I didn't even know. I was like, because York Road is long. I don't think about it because York Road is such a long stretch of road, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
what?
someone might be talking about York Road headed towards Johns Hopkins area or
Yeah,
York Road Timonium Hunt Valley. It's like, ah,
yeah. So
so every Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, a few days before the I Set the Kill show, Ted from Don't Panic messaged me like, "Hey, Jeremy, we're coming back to Baltimore, playing Zen West on the 20th." I was like, "Really? That's the day before I set." I'm like, I told my friend, "Let's go check out the venue the day before we're supposed to go and see if we're gonna like it." Had the food, loved it. We're like, okay, I don't care if this place is just not good, like sound wise. They got good food. I'll come back just for the food. And then I was blown away by the sound. I was like, wow, this is now my new favorite place because it was Soundstage for the longest time.
Mhm.
Have you played Soundstage yet?
No, we hope to get onto soundstage though, and that's all. We're on a mission for that one.
Nice. Now now I want to get to the fun questions of the night. I always like to ask every band this. Obviously, I just have you, but from your band. But say someone comes up to you randomly and says, "Hey, I got like an unlimited source of money here. You can throw your own festival. Who's headlining a 3 day festival? Who's headlining Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night? Oh, and by the way, you also have the power to bring back any artist, living or dead."
Ooh, is it like a themed festival? Does it have to be like
Nope,
within
it
our
could
genre, or
be.
can I just go nuts?
Let you get this checkbook and you're just able to and necromancy powers if you want to bring anybody back from the dead just for one night for a festival. Just go wild, whatever you want to do.
Okay, so right off the bat, I'm gonna say, um, because we just lost him, Ozzy has to be on that festival.
Yeah,
Um, and you know what? We'll throw in Randy Rhoads too. Have a little guitar battle between him and Zach Wild. Um, Another band would for me, um, because the guitar player that first made me want to play the guitar was Slash from Guns N' Roses. So not only would I get Guns N' Roses on that, I would also be like, fuck it, let's bring back Izzy Stradlin and Steven Adler. Let's get the Appetite era Guns N' Roses back for an evening. Um and then MCR.
yeah, MCR, yeah,
Um I couldn't give you like order of what days, but those would be like if we're talking like a 3 day event and I have to have three different headliners, like those are the three in like no particular order.
yeah. Oh, it don't matter. That's a fun weekend right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a band once tell me Yo Gabba Gab. I'm like, you know what? That would be a really good headliner for a festival.
What the hell is Yo Gabba Gabba? Was that some Nick Jr. thing?
Yeah, but the thing is, they actually still tour and do stuff. Like, I'm like, what?
Yeah, that would have been well after my time.
Yeah, I didn't watch Yo Gabba Gabba. I've seen memes and like my Nick Jr. thing was Oswald. Um,
The only thing I remember was Blue's Clues. That's about it.
love Blues Clues. Steve's got his own podcast now.
Mm.
It's actually pretty good. I actually really like it.
Uh,
Another fun question. You're because you play covers. When you did the Lawn show, you guys did "Damn It" and "I'm Not Okay." Those are the two I knew. What is one cover song that you like? Is there like because especially going back to open mic nights, has there ever been a song you refuse to play?
oh, I don't know because here's the thing. I did take requests. Um, you know, and you know what? I don't know if there's ever a song that I refused to play because I hated it. There might have been like something that someone requested, but I didn't know how to play it. But I would never just flat out refuse and say, "Oh no, I hate this band. I won't play this." I would never do that. But as far as like stuff we've never been, that we wanted to do, um, that we weren't able to, bring into fruition. I remember in the early days of Billy Rooster Band, um, we wanted to do, I think it was a song by like Daughtry, but I just could I think I was having like vocal problems at the time and like just couldn't hit Daughtry's notes. And I think like some of the other guys were having trouble with the song as a whole, and I didn't and it wasn't like a song like It's Not Over. It was like something else. I just can't remember what it was. But we had trouble with it. We might revisit it, but other than that, I there's never been anything that I refuse to play, you know.
Yeah. Is there a song?
Like if it's yeah, like if it's within my ability to play it, I'll try my best.
Is there a song that you get tired of playing though?
Oh, there's a whole lot of those, there's in the bars, I feel like there's 5 bar songs, like when you're doing like these 4 hour sets and whatever, that are like across every musician's repertoire for those kind of sets. They are Whack and Wheel, Friends in Low Places, Take It Easy, anything by Leonard Skinner, and what was the fifth one?
Wonderwall.
Yes, thank you.
I hear
Um,
that a lot at bars, so I hear people
yeah,
cover it.
yeah, like those are the 5 where it is so tiresome to play those, and there's always going to be someone in that bar setting that's going to ask for one of those songs, and it's like, here we go. So. But if we're talking like songs that I liked and got sick of over time, those are the 5. Once in a while, I can listen to them in small doses. But if I'm playing them regularly, I'm gonna get sick. I'm gonna get sick of those 5 in particular very fast.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I love Wonderwall, but I can't play, and I've always told like, are you? Do you know Isaac?
Isaac.
Isaac Kraft.
Um. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I know of him.
Yeah, when I saw him live one night, I was like, "Hey, can you can you play Wonderwall?" He's like, "No, no, man, I'm tired of playing that." He's like, "That gets old." He's like, that gets old," and I'm like, "Play it anyway," and he did. He's like, "Okay, whatever."
Yeah, if a musician ever gives you that response, typically if you throw something in their tip jar, that'll do it for them. They'll be like, "Okay, guess I'm selling my soul again."
Yeah, yeah, because there was one time I saw him when he was doing when he was doing a set at Zen West. He's like, "This is Wonderwall. We played all the small things, but Blink 182." I was like, "Close enough." It's also one of them other songs that gets probably tired of playing. I know you played "Damn It." Is that your favorite Blink 182 song to play, or is that just like the easy, or is that just like motor muscle memory at that point?
I mean, that's kind of that's I enjoy playing that one. Is it my favorite Blink song? Probably not. Um it's definitely a good song. It's definitely like one of my favorites. But if you had to ask me like what my favorite Blink song is, I think I would have to say um Dysentery Gary is a good one, from Enema of the State. And I also like Anthem Part 2. Those are like if we're talking about my favorite all-time Blink song, it's like probably between those two.
Yeah, I my favorite Blink song is actually, ironically, "One More Time." I love that song.
I like that song too. Um you know, I remember when they were getting ready for that album. I remember when they announced Tom was back in the band and they announced like they were stopping here in Baltimore at CFG. And I called up my brother, who, of course, he grew up with Blink. He was born in like 1990, 1991, something like that. And I told him, hey, I'm getting tickets. Are you coming? He's like, yes.
Yeah. Did you like any of the stuff that they did with Matt Skiba?
Oh, yeah. Matt Skiba, he's a talented man. I liked Bored to Death. I liked Out of Her Mind. It's it may not be the same Blink, but it's still Blink to a degree. It's still Travis and Tom doing their thing, and then Matt brought something good to the band, and then his t- he's we get into these bands, they go through these weird eras where they have like a member who is like subbed out and brought back in. But Skiba, I enjoyed the Skiba era. I actually almost saw them with Skiba in 2017. I was set to go, I think it was like Hershey or something, and it would have been the tour with Linkin Park. But
Yep, I had tickets
yep,
too.
we all know what happened. R.I.P.
Yeah, you wanna know the saddest thing for me was?
What?
I had bought tickets 12 hours before the news hit.
Oh shit.
And honestly, when I first saw, because never believe anything on the internet. Always, not right away. But when I saw it was Entertainment Weekly, Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, Bloody Disgusting, I was like, oh, this might actually be real. And
Yeah.
I was,
I remember I've gotten into this topic before, it's so bizarre and sad, but bizarre, like when an idol passes, I still remember the day Chester died, there's a good chance I was with Austin and whoever we were playing with in a band at that time. And whoever we were waiting on, they showed up. They were like, "Yo, guys, did you hear Chester died?" And then, you know, whatever we were supposed to be working on, we were just playing Linkin Park like that entire rehearsal. And then, fast forward a couple years later, 2020, I hear the news Eddie Van Halen died. I remember everything I did that day. I was at work when I got that news. Um, and then I showed like the chef I was working with at the time the news, and he starts blasting all like Van Halen like throughout that weekend. And that night, I think me and my father listened back to back to 1984 and 3130. Um, you know, you know, it's so weird. You can recall these things like the day your idols died. It's like it's tragic. I can recall that all so well because that's what they meant to me, and that's um, you know,
yeah,
just how I processed, I guess.
yeah, I was very, I've never, I will say this, I have said it in the past. I was more, so I love that tour because I obviously love Linkin Park's music. And I was like, oh, Blink 182 and Linkin Park? That's like killing two birds with one stone. I'm like, that's great. I love Blink 1. I was mainly going for Blink 182 because that's who I loved. That's who I liked more. But I was like, I enjoy Linkin Park. I didn't it didn't hit me as hard as most people did, but I would say like it still hit me.
Yeah. I think like I feel like it hits everyone on some level. Like even if you liked, just like one album, it was like, oh God damn, that was he was a talented guy and that was very sad.
Yeah. It it's just very I think the one artist, I don't know if there's ever really been an artist that, well, no, when David Lynch passed away earlier this year or late last year, I was very upset. I started watching Twin Peaks again. I don't know if you, I don't hear, I don't know if you've ever watched, like, I guess since you talked about we before we were doing this, before we started recording, you were talking about how you like movies too. Like, is there any like what are your favorite kind of movies to watch? Like, do you just watch something funny, or like do you have like a set?
Um, it kind of right off the bat, I will tell you what I will go see in a movie theater
Yeah,
is typically a sci-fi or a superhero film. Um, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'm a huge superhero fan. So those are my typically like go out to the movies to see because I want to see like the visuals on the big screen.
yeah,
Um, when I'm chilling at home, it can be anything from like watching like old classics. Like I think my mother has like a copy of Ulysses around. I do watch some of the older movies to, some of the movies of the early 2000s. I really enjoy, and aside from like sci-fi and superheroes, I enjoy like a lot of the historical movies, like particularly around like that revolve around like ancient Greece or Roman times. I love those movies. Um, but yeah, I would say that's probably my go-to. Like if you want to try and get me to go to a movie theater, and then if one of those movies is playing, that's likely your best bet.
yeah. Like Star Wars. Like I don't know if well, I guess it's kind of sci-fi, but more sci-fi comedy kind of way. But Back to the Future's coming back to theaters this weekend.
Oh yeah, I'm might go to that. I do have a busy weekend, but if I can squeeze that in, you know,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be disappointed. You
yeah.
know,
I have yet to see that on the big screen. I think I'm gonna go. I love that movie so much.
yeah. I tell you what, if I become a famous musician and like, number one records, the first thing I'm doing is either buying a DeLorean or buying a house that is built like the Millennium Falcon. One of the two,
That'd
maybe
be
both.
awesome. Maybe both. It has to sell more than two. It has to sell more than 2 million, or I don't even know how much it would cost for that. Has to sell everything. Just like I'll buy it. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I got that kind of money, that would like you can bet I'd geek out on like so much
Yeah.
memorabilia. I mean, I was just at Comic-Con this weekend and you know,
How was that
um
in Baltimore, the Baltimore Comic Con? Because I thought about going because Phineas and the people that play the new Phineas and Ferb people were there, and I was like, oh, I'd be interested to meet them.
it was good. I didn't meet anyone there. I know they had like the actors who played the Weasley twins as well as Ginny Weasley there. I
Yeah.
did not go that during that day. Um but it was good, it's cool. It's nice and refreshing to like go out and like kind of just let the inner nerd out and just like go nuts. I picked up a bunch of comic books while I was there, some other memorabilia, you know. I tell you what though, if you know, it was probably my wallet's worst nightmare though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if I set a budget for myself for Comic Con, guess what? I was not going to stick to that budget. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I had to, I saw that when I saw the Weasley twins were going to be there, I was like, have some self control. If I saw someone like Mark Hamill or Henry Cavill being there, I would have been like, oh yeah, I'm draining my bank account for this.
Yeah. I got to go to I've been to Monster Mania a couple times. The one in they started doing it actually closer to me. They did one in Baltimore back in October, and then also in May this year. I also been to the one when they used to do in Hunt Valley. Well, Devin Sawa, I don't know if you know who that is. He came through, and I took my copy of Wild America. I don't know. It's an old movie from the 90s. I took it for him to sign it, and he's like, "I've never signed one of these before." And I said, "He's like, you really went he's like, you really went off brand because it's not a horror movie. It's a family film." He's like, "You went really off brand, but I'll sign it." He was very nice, very cool dude, a very very nice
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so refreshing, I feel like, when you meet these people and what, they're just like, oh, holy shit, that is so cool. And you know what, and like, it's reactions like that that's, tell you, oh, these guys are genuine and they're like happy to be there and they're like, they're surprised too. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been very 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 insane the last few years. It's been eh, crap. I don't know how it's been because now that ever since the end of COVID, everyone's just been like, I don't know if it was the although now people are getting back to normal and they're getting meaner. I've noticed that people were so kind and now it's like, oh, back to normal.
Yep. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah.
Everyone, be a douchebag.
How did you like? I guess because you were still doing like stuff during COVID. How did you cope with not being able to play shows right away? Like, 'cause I know for a while there weren't shows. Like,
Uh,
how did you just?
so So some of it was, perfecting my songwriting craft, Some of those songs did make it onto the first record. Um, some of it was also like I would do a couple live streams and, while it did take a little while for us to get shows back up and running, 2021, I think it was, once bars reopened and like restaurants and stuff, I was able to like get back to that too. So that helped a lot, because I was able to kind of just like hop right back in with those kind of shows, so and that was so nice in COVID times to like do that like right when people were able to come back out of their house. I remember you know, um chatting with two people who were like sitting at a table, like, you know, like 20 feet away from me, being like, they were getting up to leave and they were like, "Thank you for playing. It was so refreshing to come out again and hear live music." So, and that meant the world to hear, and it felt good to be back. Obviously, it took a little while for the good old shows to make their comeback, but that helped a lot. You know,
Yeah. My first show back was Nate Wants to Battle in DC. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a YouTube artist.
yeah. I remember my first concert after COVID was December of 2021, Auto Bar, and I went to see Nita Strauss.
Oh, that had to be a sick show.
Oh yeah, she can that that woman, she can shred. Like she she is a hell of a guitar player. She's a beautiful woman too. But that woman can shred. She can run from one side of the stage to the other. Like she is a beast on the guitar.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's. I think it is. I think it's the vocalist from Deadlands also does vocals when she's on tour with Nita Strauss.
Yes, she does. I've
Casey, I
had
think.
I have not caught them since. She was not singing for Anita yet, but
Yeah.
yeah, you are correct. It is, I think her name is like Casey Carlson or something like that. Yeah, she sings for Nita live.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, because I had seen like clips on it on Instagram. I was like, oh, that's neat, because I do like Deadlands. My, I was very nervous to go back out after COVID. Um,
I think everyone was, but like once they got back into the groove, it was very much kind of eased back in. We're all in this together, and then once everyone eased back in, it was well back to business.
yeah, I know my mom wasn't too thrilled when I told her I was going to a concert in DC. I was like, and she was like, I don't like you going out there because you don't know what's going. Like, it's okay, mom. Black Cat put out a COVID card restriction. You have to show your vaccination card or you don't get in. She goes, people can
Mm.
forge those, and I said, well, let them forge them. I'm going out anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah, like
care.
you can't like I can understand like being hesitant. COVID was a very new thing at the time,
Yeah.
still new at that time, and you know what? So having hesitancy like that is understandable. You're dealing with something you don't really fully understand.
Yep.
It took my mother forever to like go out to like crowded places again. She didn't start coming to shows again. And granted, she hadn't been to shows in a while, but she didn't come out until like last year when we started playing shows pretty regularly. Um, uh,
Yeah.
you know, and both my parents they're older. My dad just turned 71. My mom's in her 60s, so they definitely have their valid reasons to
Yep.
be cautious.
Yeah, my grandmother is gonna be 76 in just a couple weeks here. So yeah,
Yeah.
everyone was a little weary. They didn't want me to meet a lot of people. They were like, "Don't please don't try to don't go congregate with a lot of people." I'm like, well, that's gonna be hard. I think DC show for that Nate One's battle, it wasn't sold out, and it wasn't really a packed show. It was like 100 people there. It's not that big. I mean, it's a big venue. I think it's like 600
Yeah.
cap. I believe. I believe Black Cat
I
is
will
six.
say, like the concern is coming from a good place. I mean, you never
Yeah.
know with just how packed a show's going to be
Yeah.
these days.
I will
Some
say.
people even. Yeah.
I will say I never got COVID, so that's good.
I've only had COVID once. It was not the result of going to a show, um, and it sucked.
Oh, I imagine.
Um, yeah, I remember when I got COVID, I was supposed to like the week after, or the fall, or 2 weeks after, whatever. I was supposed to go to JD's and Smokehouse and play a 3 hour set. I was better by this point, but the back of my throat was still like healing from it. And I gotta tell you, it was like singing during that set was like singing like someone was dragging a needle down the back of my throat. It sucked, you know. So yeah, COVID, it's not fun business.
No. And they had right to be concerned because the very 2 weeks later, I went and saw Newfound Glory, my all-time favorite band, at Ramshead, and that was sold out. And they were more worried about that one because they know that that's a big band, and they're like, "That's gonna be crowd." I'm like, "Yeah, it's sold out." I shouldn't have told them that because they're like, "Please don't go." I'm like, "I'm going anyway. I already bought my tickets. I'm going."
Yep,
Had to go.
yep. I think my parents were relieved when I first started going back out and we first started reopening that. At the time, I was only hitting up open mics, and I didn't start really coming around to a lot of the local shows, like shows that is, until like end of 2023. That's when like I went to one and I was just like, you know what, I like the bar scene, but I miss this. I miss going to play these kinds of shows, where people actually give a damn that there's music playing and that like and
Yeah,
that in turn did lead to the creation of Billy Rooster Band.
yeah. I This is also gonna sound kind of because I love bigger bands, but honestly, I just love going to the local shows a lot more because
Oh
honestly,
yeah.
it and a lot of people probably agree with this, you included. They actually, I mean, I'm not saying that the bigger bands don't care that you're there, but they already know people are going to be there because all they have to do is just say we're playing here. But a local
No,
band,
I understand where you're coming from 100%. We're always extremely happy to be playing a show. We're always happy to meet new people.
you know,
So it comes all. I hear what you're saying. Like the local shows, the artists playing them, they'll come off as more genuine and authentic. I've met a couple of some of the bigger names who, I've been very lucky as far as the ones I've met so far. They were very happy to be there. Definitely didn't have to, but they were. But I hear what you're saying, with the local artists because, they they just love what they're doing, they don't have like that diva sense or anything like that, and it's very refreshing to see local talent doing what they do and then socializing after, like, come hang with us at the booth,
you know, and it's really crazy because I've shared a lot of shows on like Facebook, Instagram, and tagging a lot of the bands, not knowing who they are, just like, hey, come check out this lineup. It's got this band. I didn't know any of the bands on this one show, and this guy randomly comes like, "Are you Jeremy?" I was like, "Yeah." "Who are you?" He's like, "Oh, I'm the singer of I can't remember the band's name, but he's like, "Oh, I'm this guy. You tagged me on Facebook. You tagged me on Instagram." I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'll be honest. I only just shared the show flyer and tagged everybody because I was promoting it. I didn't know exactly who was on the show. I'm just here to hang out and see all the see new bands." And he's like, "Well, we appreciate it because we don't get a lot. Not everyone gets a lot of love."
Yeah, that is very, that's really refreshing too. And I guarantee you, most musicians, especially local ones, they're gonna love that because, again, free advertising.
Yeah, yeah, free advertising. For come on my podcast, talk about your new shows, which you guys got a few shows coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I love. I just like talking to people too, and local shows. It's a lot more easier than trying to talk to like bigger artists because security, um,
Oh,
VI,
exactly. Yeah,
VIP
I hear exactly
people.
what you're saying.
But yeah, because I will tell you this funny story because I don't think anyone's heard this yet. But when you reached out to me, because I assume you just are you the one that just runs the Instagram, or is it a collaboration of all of you?
Mainly me. Everyone has access to it though, so
Okay.
But I
Cause
will handle if you're getting a DM from that page. Chances are it's from me.
Yeah, because I will tell you this funny story. I'll tell everyone this before we talk about your upcoming shows. I'm sorry. You, there was a DM request in my DMs. There was a request message, and because you had followed me, I hadn't followed you guys, and I was
Oh, I know this story. This is
yeah.
gonna be good.
So I was so it was like I hadn't because I never checked the request folders because I'm always because it's always usually spam bots, and it said Billy Rooster Band wants to send you a message, and I'm like, who is that? Like, what? Who is this? Billy Root. I'm like, so I click on it and I see a picture. Before I replied to it, I checked out the page and I'm like, is that Austin? Is he in a new band? Like, what? Like, what's going on here? So and it's like, and you basically was asking, can you guys play the fourth? And I said, yeah, you know what? Yeah, sure. And I looked, I'm like, yeah, I'll add them on there. Like, hey, why not? And guys were the
You
last.
told me you thought when you first saw that message, you thought it was spam at first.
I did, because I had a few people reaching out to me, like, like, you get them, like, it's like always on Instagram comments, like, hey, send me this post. Hey, send me this post. And I'm like, but then sometimes they'll message you and like, hey, send me info. And I'm like, who are you? Like, what? But no, it's been funny just seeing people, like, you know. And I was like, yeah, I'll add you guys. I need one more band. I need one more band, and it worked out. Everyone, it worked out. It worked really well, and I was really glad to have you all in there. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm excited because out of all the shows that threw, this was the only one that did not have a lineup change so far.
It's always a nice change of pace too, when it goes through as planned. We haven't had too many shows where we had to change the lineup, especially at the last minute. I think we had like one at the end of last year where we had to swap someone out because someone double booked, but we've gotten lucky. We haven't had to find like any substitutions or anything.
Yeah, it's always crazy when because I got I got super lucky getting handguns. Those guys, I'm friends with. I was actually their manager. I'm friends with their manager. Who's their because their drummer that they played with you guys isn't their actual main drummer. He used to drum with them, but sometimes he'll fill in when their normal drummer can't fulfill the
Yeah.
date, and that's who I was friends with. So those two helped me get. I got them and no takebacks from them, and I'll,
I really, we really enjoyed No Takebacks. Like, we're really hoping we can do shows with them in the future too, because they were very friendly and they're a talented group of musicians.
yeah, I will announce. It is my show. I can announce it that if you guys want to play, you can play. But May 30th is going to be my birthday bash, and they're playing that. So, throwing that invite out to you. Obviously, I can announce it because if you obviously I'm not going to announce a whole lineup, but those two are confirmed. They'll come back.
We would. We would be happy to do that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. That's gonna be a big one. That's a big birthday bash right there. That's a big one. That's a I'm really that's gonna be a fun one. I'm really looking forward to that one. I was like, I'm gonna do this, and here I am now. I'm just booking it, and honestly, it's easier to book a show when you know it's like 1 to 2 months away. But when you got like 6 months, it's a little harder.
You would think it'd be a lot easier because because you have plenty of time to figure things out.
Oh yeah, but
Um,
then you have lineup changes that could just happen. So it's like whatever,
yeah,
which is fine. But I'd rather know at least with every show I've been planning, I know ahead of time if there's gonna be a lineup change,
yeah,
which is nice because I don't want them to be like, oh, we're not coming or no show. Obviously, if there's a reason, you know, real. Like my very first show, I had a dropout. Actually, I had there's a whole video on that on like what happened with my very first show. The venue closed, had to find a new venue, then had to make sure the other entities involved didn't get mad at me for moving it away. Like, no, I'm taking my show and I'm taking it somewhere else. Like, no, I'm not having it with you. I was pissed. But it happens. But let's talk about your upcoming shows now because I'm really looking forward. I'm actually going to try and head out to that DC one. I'm really looking forward to that. That's a really
yeah. That
good.
one's gonna be at Pie Shop,
Yes.
actually.
Have you been there before?
No, this will be our first time there. Um, we were invited to join by one of the acts on there, because we had done a show with a band called Grim Winter, which was his other band. So he invited us out there. I've never been to Pie Shop. I'd been told about it, and I wanted to get in there, and this was like the perfect opportunity to get in there. So I'm very much looking forward to that. We got Autobar again on November 21st, which I'm really looking forward to. That one's with Liam Hooser, who played our album release show, and we're also playing that show with a little band called Not Now, who we've done shows with before, and they're a great group of guys. I love those guys.
Yeah.
Um, and then I think um, we might have one more Zen date this year, but I'm not entirely sure yet. If um, so,
Yeah.
just be on the lookout for that announcement
Yeah.
because we
Um,
might have confirmation by the time this is released, but keep a lookout. I think, but for the rest of the year, we're looking at two or three shows,
yeah,
and
that
we're
auto bar one's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm hoping that
oh
I'm
yeah,
I'm hoping that one does really well for you guys because I Hawthorne Heights is also playing at Nevermore that same night.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm actually like I'm going to probably hit that auto bar date up. I'm thinking about it because the announcement today when this is being made. Hawthorne Heights is playing the Rex, which is down in Southern Maryland, which is a little bit of a ways, but statements are opening for them, and I love statements.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, that would be a good show too.
yeah, everyone. I love I love this whole music scene. I mean I can't I've told myself and the 10 like almost 11 years going to all these different shows and everything. I have been
Yeah, we have a solid music scene. We have some really oh excuse me, we have some great people in this music scene, real genuine people who enjoy being there, and that's the best part about it.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen people come and go in the last 10 years, like almost 11 years now, and there are moments where I've told myself, there have been moments where I'm like, man, why did I get so much involved in this? Why did I do this? This is making my
yeah,
head hurt. Like, why did I do this? Oh yeah, because you love the people that are there. Oh yeah, that's why.
yeah,
That's really why. It's like, oh crap, because I love
yeah. We've seen
everybody.
some. Yeah, I know what you mean. I've seen some good bands come and go. I remember one of my friends was drumming for Flying Jacob towards the end. They're no longer active now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I was also friends with everybody in like Follow Your Bliss. Still friends with two of them actually. Um,
I've only seen them once, and the only time I've ever seen them, it was actually the very last time Flying Jacob ever played because then COVID hit.
yeah. So, oh, you were at that emo night.
The Angels
And
Rock Bar night. I actually was supposed to. What happened was I didn't know if I could go, and then my boss called me and was like, "Hey, by the way, the bowling alleys because I'm working for a bowling alley at the time. They're like it's dead tonight. You can have off." I was like, "Cool, I'm going downtown."
nice,
yeah,
yeah. It sucks, we don't have, there are so many bands that left the scene, but at the same time, we've had some great bands enter the scene, and there are some, we played with some great bands in turn, and that's one thing we're really looking forward to about next year. I've just started planning out our calendar for next year. I can't really go into too much right now, but
yeah,
we're setting up some good shows. We're going to play with some good people who we've played with before, and hopefully we'll get to play with some new ones too. And I'm really excited about that. Really excited for new music too. Like I don't have a particular release date in mind yet, but I have started working on I've started writing the third album. Um,
yeah.
and we're gonna do like a little EP next year. It'll just be an acoustic EP, but we got so much stuff going forward that I'm really looking forward to. That I can't wait for everyone to hear. Can't wait to meet some new people. It's just full speed ahead, man. I couldn't be more stoked.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun the last 2 years. I've seen a lot of bands grow, and I've seen a lot of bands just die.
Yeah.
Honestly,
And you see,
that's
and then you've seen like just bands that pop out of nowhere. That's always
yeah.
refreshing. I feel like when that
Oh,
happens.
I always like. Well, man, not now because sometimes I don't really like to go out on the weekends all the time like I used to. Like 2022, 2020, from 2022 to about 2023, Jeremy, like that like after COVID, like I was going out almost every weekend. Like it didn't matter what bands were playing. Like if I knew a band on the lineup, cool. But sometimes I just showed up and checked out the acts because I like to see. It's always good to have your favorites and your people, but at the same time, I've seen
It's
like
like why not go out, see like and discover some new people.
yeah, because I mean, if I've seen like say there was a band called I don't know, let's say they were called Drunk Fish. If I've seen them 10 times, they're not, and they don't, if they're playing almost the same exact set, that's gonna get repetitive and very very old. Not that I'm
Oh
not,
yeah.
not that I'm not gonna appreciate their set time, their set and all that. It's just I like to see new people
You
too.
need to shake it up every once in a while. I hear you.
Yeah, I just got into the some more pop punk emo, but I like going into like the metal. I will say this: I will stay away from country because I don't like country music. I don't like it. It's just like I'll
Yeah,
stay
I
away.
was again, I could not avoid it because remember I was playing in the bars, so
Yeah, it's a
you
little
know,
yeah, but I mean like I'm
yeah.
not gonna go out of
I'm
my
not the
way.
biggest country fan these days. I have a couple artists that I enjoy. Like I really enjoy Luke Combs. I think he's a great singer, and Paisley's a good guitar player. But it's just,
Yeah,
they're so I enjoy certain parts of it. I don't listen to a lot of it though.
yeah.
These days, um,
I don't think there's a lot of
and
there's.
country these,
Oh
and
yeah,
like I don't need to hear a million songs about broken ass trucks or drinking stale beer.
yeah. Or like anything that what's that one guy? It's he's always now he's being talked about because of that one guy. It's what's his name? I don't know his name. There's always a lot of country artists, but there's not a lot of local ones that get booked every weekend. So it's not like I'm not gonna know. It's like eventually I'll probably hear a country artist, but
We did do a show with a country artist this year, named Ethan Lake. Um, he played Never Early Fest, and also, he did a show at Zen that we opened for, and I actually knew Ethan from my open mic days. Uh,
okay.
so I can tell you that, we don't get a whole lot of country artists around here, but he's a good one. He's got a great voice. He's a great guitar player too. And he is, if you wanted to check out, I don't know how many actual country artists we have in the Baltimore scene, but he's a good one, and he's definitely someone to check out.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like your country, just shake it up a little bit and give him a try, just for the sake of supporting the
Okay.
artist. I would say,
Yeah.
not your cup of tea. It's not your cup of tea.
Yeah. Did you guys play Never Early Fest or did you just go?
I just went.
Yeah.
If they do another one, I would like to play Never Early Fest.
Yeah. It looked like a really good lineup. I was just there was so much going on May 31st. I was asked to be. They wanted. I know people wanted me to go to Never Early Fest, but then I was also booked to do video at Auto Bar, and I'm like, I can't turn down a paid gig.
Oh
Like,
yeah, like I understand that.
I could have did like I was only asked to do two bands, and I did. I did Orange Balloons and Armani Broken. And then
Wasn't I believe Cat Sensei was also
they were
they were
so
also booked to play that, but couldn't because of Harris. I
yeah,
believe that was around.
Harrison. Yeah, like literally like
It was
3 days
a couple
before
days
the show.
before he had like that medical emergency or whatever it was.
Yeah, he suffered a stroke.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, for a long time there, I was like, and I was wishing him well all the time, because obviously I'm not, I want to wish everybody well. Like he was very,
yeah,
he actually got back to me fairly well. He's like, dude, I'm doing okay. Thank you for all the well, really, really nice guy. I really do like his music.
yeah. I remember talking to Matt about that around that time, wishing them all well. It
Yeah,
sounds like I think it sounds like everyone's doing good now. So
yeah.
let's wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I was gonna do their video if they played because I remember I remember I asked Shezzy, I was like, do you guys want video done? He's like, yeah, man. And then like of course then they didn't play, but he still came and showed up because he was the organizer of the show, and it was
Oh yeah,
really
he's a yeah, Shezzy's a good dude.
yeah he
He tries his best to show up when he can. He's
yeah
a really good guy.
he filled in on guitar for the Lost for when I had the Lost booked for my very first show. He filled in on guitar because the one of the vocalists is actually his neighbor. So he asked him if he would do it. And he's like, "Yeah, why not? Let me learn these songs." And it was like an '80s synth kind of pop band, is how I can describe the Lost. And He's like, oh yeah, this is gonna be kind of. He's like, this is kind of easy. He's like, this is gonna be kind of fun. And they all did a really good job. Yeah, everyone. But yeah, I had that to go to. Then I was asked to go check out a book. It was like a book. Some one of the Baltimore. There's not a lot of authors in the area. Derek Credito wrote a book, and he was doing a book signing, and I went to go check that out before we go into Autobar. And let me tell you, going to Columbia, then going to Autobar, then coming home, that was a whirlwind and a half.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, but I had a lot of fun. Everyone's been really, really good. That Never Early Fest lineup, I was like, whoa! I know a ton of these bands, especially a lot of the local ones. I'm like, some of these people I haven't seen play in like years, like Southview
Yeah.
Drive, and I was like, damn! If I wasn't already booked somewhere else, I would go. Cause stuff like that happens all the time where it's like you gotta cause I had all intentions
Yeah,
to go.
it's like first come first serve. You made the commitment, you gotta stick to it.
Well,
You know.
I was gonna go to Never Early Fest, but then I was asked, like, can you come record my bands here? I was like, yes. Like, let me do that real quick, cause it was a big thing, and I was like, oh, I'll go. It sounds like fun, and it was. I actually hadn't been to Autobar in a long time because before Autobar had changed hands, I didn't like the old security staff. They were mean and they were rude, and now they have better people, and I can say that with confidence. Like, they're really nice. They actually do care now. The last time I was there, it was for Long Shot, that Billy Joe Armstrong um, solo thing he did on the side before Green Day did their newest, before Green Day did like a new
I remember
album.
that. That would have been I remember when that happened too. That would have been I think that was
2018.
2017, right? That would have been my senior year of high school.
It was 2018 when they did the tour, but yeah, it was like
Oh,
roughly
okay.
around the end of 2017 when they dropped their EP, and that
Okay,
that
okay. Then
that's
I still remember what you were talking about. I
yeah.
remember seeing Long Shot coming to Baltimore, and I remember the show being sold out.
I was lucky to get tickets. I got two tickets. Me and a friend went, and the security was just rude, man. I
Yeah.
did not. It's not that I didn't appreciate what they were doing. I did, but
It sucks. They have their job to do, but you know,
yeah. But
yeah, I can hear you. If security is being douchey and it kind of can take away from the experience.
yeah, everybody has been their new staff, even the new bar staff. Like when I was because I did have a drink there, and very nice guy, very chill dude. Everyone there was pretty nice. I will say, and I even told
Yeah,
him
we
like,
haven't had any problems with the staff at Auto Bar. They're professionals. They do their job and they do their job well and they do it right.
yes, they're great. I think every venue I've been to. Nope, never mind. That's not true. I won't say the name of a venue, but it was in PA. Not great staff. Great food. Great drinks, but not great staff. That's a sad thing. And I it's just I was working with a band at the time. We went to that venue. They did their show. We got food. We got drinks. Staff was rude, but food was good. Drinks were okay. Can't really complain about a vodka cranberry. That's what I was drinking at the time, and it's like really hard to complain about that. And the food was good, but staff was rude. But it is what it is. You can't have it. You can't have like a Zen West or a Auto Bar or Soundstage. Like everyone that I've ever talked to at those venues have been super kind. I don't know. What is your favorite show you've played?
Oof. That's a tough question. I think it definitely comes down to between Auto Bar and Zen. Um, but I honestly couldn't pick between the two. We've had because we've done great shows at Auto Bar. We've done some great shows at Zen West. Enthusiastic crowds. We have all that, and we've done more than just that. But I feel like those are always the best shows for us. So if you asked me to pick between the two of them, I couldn't. I don't think I actually could, but I can just narrow it down to those two. Um,
Yeah, it's. I think my favorite show that I've ever, well, I can't say played because I don't play an instrument or anything. I don't. So I just like favorite place. that I've ever been to besides Zen. Uh, really, really love the Auto Bar. I would love and Wrecker. Love Wrecker. Wrecker's great. Love that place.
Wrecker is also on our list. We want to get in there too.
It's such a really good venue. Sounds
And
great.
that's in Towson too.
Yeah,
Uh so I live in Towson, so um getting there would not be a problem for us, you know.
yeah.
Hell, if I wanted to, if we played Wrecker, I could drop off my equipment and then run my car home and then just walk to there if I wanted the exercise.
Right, because it's not far.
No, it's not far from my house at all.
See, then playing there
It's
wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, and like I said, drop off my stuff, go back, walk home, and walk to and from there. Like I could, that's doable.
Yeah.
If I mean, if I wanted to, that is.
Yeah, I had only
But
played there. I'm not played. I've only been there once before it was revamped because apparently it was a nightclub after a while, and then it got
yeah,
changed.
so I can kind of fill you in on some of the history if you're unfamiliar. It started off as the Wrecker Theater,
Yeah,
and they used to have all kinds of artists coming through there. I was told even Breaking Benjamin came through there at one
yeah.
point.
That's where I
Um,
saw Newfound
and then it
Glory once.
became Yeah, and then in like 2013 I think that was it. It became the Torrent nightclub and it sucked. I did not like Torrent. Much preferred the Wrecker Theater. And I swear to God, when I heard that Wrecker it was coming back as just Wrecker, they were getting rid of Torrent. I was like, "Oh yeah, let's go."
Yeah,
Um,
I would.
but yeah, that's the history of the place
Yeah,
basically.
I had been there one time because in 2012, I had gotten tickets to go see Newfound Glory there because they were doing their acoustic. It was like an acoustic show slash electron. They did part of it acoustically, and then they did. Then they went and did their actual like major. They went and did the full band stuff, and that's my all time favorite band. I have seen that band a lot. I had seen that band 25 times. That is my all-time favorite band. They always have been. Ironically, though, they weren't my very first show. My very first show was actually a Yellow Card and All-Time Low show at Chameleon Club when that was still a thing.
All Time Low, another big band that used to sell Wrecker and probably played the old Wrecker Theater too.
Probably. Actually, I think they have. They probably
They
did.
definitely have. I shouldn't have said probably. They definitely have.
I love I well, I don't love the band as much as I did then. And honestly, I went. Me and a friend of mine we were in middle school and when Chameleon Club when we went there, we went for a Yellow Card because that's who we both liked. But we did stay for All Time Low because we figured we did pay $25 for these tickets. Might as well see the whole lineup, and they sold me because I had only heard Dear Maria, and I was like, it's generic pop punk song, whatever. But no, they actually were really, really good live, and I was like, oh, this band's pretty cool. And I've only seen them once live after that, and that was in 2017 when they played Ram's Head. But I bought that
So,
ticket.
I saw All Time Low a couple years ago at the Maryland State Fair.
Oh, how was
It was a
that?
really good show. That was a really good show. And they're from that again. They're from Towson. They're from that area.
Yep.
And so, and like,
Yeah.
I remember at one point during the show, Jack was like, "Oh yeah, I used to live back there, and you guys used to keep me up all the time when you had these concerts."
Yeah.
It was or something along that line. He was being funny, but like, yeah, they're all from that area,
Yeah.
and so
I think
you
he
know, if
partly.
I think they said they had dreamt about playing like the state fair or something someday, and you know what? They're from the area, so I believe them.
Yeah, I believe he's also one of the owners of Rockwell down in Fells Point.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is, but that's what I've heard.
I
But
would not be surprised if those guys had like local bars that they owned, because
yeah,
they would know the area. They'd be like, "Oh, this would be a great place to set up a bar."
yeah, they're definitely. I like their new album that just came out a few weeks ago or about a month ago.
I still need to listen to that.
It's not bad. It's not, but it is a. Me personally, I still think Nothing Personal is their best. But again, I've also only seen them live twice, and I'll be honest, I don't even know if I'd go. I mean, I probably would see them again, but it's always been kind of like a product of circumstance. All time lows come in the ring. Said who's on the bill? Water Parks and Stand Atlantic. Love Stand Atlantic. I could care less about seeing all time low at that point, but I'm already paying the money. And I will tell you this funny story. I don't know if you remember Playboy magazine.
Yeah.
They did a promos pre-sale with Playboy subscribers early for that album in 2017. Me and a friend bought a subscription just to get the promo code. We were like, well, let's get a pre-sale code so we don't lose tickets to miss out on Stan Atlantic. And when the first magazine showed up, he forgot why he had that come in the mail. Oh, it's so funny. But what has been well, I don't want to say what has been the well, I like asking this because obviously you can keep it anonymous, but what has been the what could have gone better show, like, or worse show, like what do you think could have gone better if you've had like any bad show, like, not quote unquote
There
worse
was one, I will be honest, there was one bad show that it was late last year. It was an auto bar show actually. And I was I um it was this would have been like December of last year, and it just wasn't good because I wasn't on top of my game. It was around the holiday, so it was a hard show to sell.
Yeah,
And um so that one just wasn't its best. And at the time, I it was just that one was just one of our that was our rough one. But this year we've been good this year. We haven't played too many shows this year that have been bad. We didn't do many shows last year that were bad. It was if it was just the one at the end of last year that was what we'll call questionable. But we've been lucky. We've definitely gotten lucky.
yeah,
I'm not like playing when I'm sick or anything.
yeah, that's
So
good.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. Worst show for me I've ever been to was an Angels Rock Bar show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I had the
I've
worst
I've
show.
been to Angels too. It's very hit or miss, I feel like. I
Every
remember I remember actually way back in the day, this would have been like not long after me and Austin met, we did a show at Angels Rock Bar because we were in School of Rock at the time.
okay.
And we did a show there, and we play our set, or however many songs we have. And I couldn't hear anything above Austin's drums. And I peeked over, like after our set, there was no one in the sound booth. There was
Mm.
no one in the box, like with the board. And I was like, what the. So that was my only experience at Angels. I'm willing to bet it's gotten better. Like no one would leave a sound box again like that.
No,
I
I've
haven't
seen
played
it.
there with Billy Rooster band. Huh?
I have seen it where the a sound guy had
That
left,
just bailed.
didn't bail, went out for a cigarette, came back.
There's a difference between just like, you know,
Well, it was
doing that
during a
and just
set.
like,
It was during a set. That's the thing. He wasn't like paying. And like I remember the
oh,
lead singer was like, "Can I get more guitar on my monitor?" No response. No, he's like, and then there's nobody there. uh, Angels has been a weird experience for me. Every time I've gone to Angels in the last few years, it's always like the one show.
it's either gonna be a really good time or not so
Well,
good. I would not mind
um,
playing Angels though.
the first time I worked, I was with a band for an album release, and the show did not go well, at all. And then the last show I was at Angels for, I quit a band I was working with. So, Angels has been definitely, I love it, but unfortunately, I just had bad luck with it. It was just the time and the place. I was like, man, every time I go
I
here,
think Angels would probably be, would be one of those. I would like to play Angels. I feel like a lot of bands have similar stories where they say it's hit or miss. I
Yeah,
guess is the best way to put it.
yeah. If you,
That's just going off of what I've heard from other bands, though.
yeah, if you could, what is your dream venue to play?
Whiskey a Go Go.
I think everybody likes to play that venue. They do a
Yeah.
huge pay to play, and or if you don't do pay to play, they take a big merch cut.
Yeah.
I hate merch cuts.
So
I won't ever do it. If it ever came down to it, where a venue told me we're taking a merch cut, okay, that's great. Is your person gonna sell my merch, or am I still selling it? You're just taking my money. I can understand. See, I
I
hate
can
it.
understand like taking ticket cuts because that's what venues do.
Yeah, they have to
But
do
merch
that.
cuts, no,
No.
you're not profiting off the stuff I made.
Yeah, the only way. So I do. There is one way I agree with it, and and a lot of bands say this. If the venue's selling your merch, okay, that's a little
Yeah,
different.
if they ordered it for that show
Yep.
and they are selling it, then yeah, I will. Then yeah, go for it. But if we're talking about the merch that I'm hauling to every show that you've seen, then no, you are not taking a cut of my merch sales.
Yeah. No. I would. I've known people that have said, "Oh, there's a merch cut. If there's a merch cut," I had seen people say, "Hey, just give me a T-shirt and we'll call it a day. I'm not taking merch cut from you. Just give me a T-shirt. Okay, cool. Here you go." I won't do it. I won't ever, like, I've been asked, like, when I was hitting up bands to play a show, like, do you take merch cut? No, I think it's wrong. I didn't design your T-shirt.
Like,
I didn't print your
yeah, but like
CD.
that's our merch. Like the thing about merch is that's our money that we put into that.
Yeah,
Like, and then like so ours to sell. You're not taking a cut of that.
yeah, no. Uh, Unfortunately, I know some bands that had to do it because it was in the contract. It's when you sign it. That's that. It's in the contract. I'm like, well, damn, you signed it, but it sucks because that's how
Yeah.
bands make their
Sometimes it is what
money.
it is. If I can control it though, I will probably just decline.
Yeah,
But
I
if I think it would come down to if it's a contract, if it works out, that kind of thing. But overall, I would not ever.
yeah
Um,
I when I got that question, I was like, why? What? They're like, well, we've done out of state shows before, but they always took like money from us after selling merch. I'm like, I think it's wrong to. I'm like, okay, well, that's just shitty practices. But I get it if it's in a contract. Like, if it's not something you can control, like whatever. But my thing is, I've told bands, I won't take a merch cut from you. I won't take it. It's just wrong. I think it's horrible. Like, I've seen both sides, and it's like it's terrible. I hate it. I can't do it. Like, no, you're not taking. I'm not taking 20. Like, if you sell like one shirt, but if I'm taking like 5% of that, that's like your money right there. That's like the money that you would make technically from it, profit wise.
yeah, exactly.
Because
And the thing about merch is, is merch. Um, you sit on it for a while until you sell it, and then when you sell it, it typically goes right back into more merch.
yep, like reorder, and I will give these people credit where credit is due. I love Old Eastern Ink Shop. I love them. I haven't
Oh
bought
yeah,
merch from
that's how
them.
we do it. Yeah,
I
that's how we get our shirts. I mean, go
great.
figure. Brendan is also, our bass player is also their bass player. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're great. I love working with Nick and Mullet
Yep.
on these shirts.
I've
Always happy to see them. They always do a great job with the shirts,
yeah.
and I could not be happier.
Yeah, I've never really got to sit down and talk to them, but like they're super sweet. They've always like when I've met, because I've seen Old Eastern. They're very nice people, very great band, awesome people, and I love them. They're really nice people. They're deal like when I was looking at their website for like a quote, they're not that bad either. They're really not. They're very. I don't know if it's changed in the last few years, but cost, but they've always
No,
been
they do
very,
not. They don't like. They are very reasonably priced for their, for their shirts and sizes and all that.
and they're
You know.
very, and it's always looking very high quality. It doesn't look like it was made like for like
Yeah.
on like a Microsoft printer or something like that. It's always been
Yeah,
really
exactly. Like they take their time with it. That kind. If you need a shirt on the fly, old, don't expect it on the fly. But like, if you want a quality shirt and you go to Old Eastern, they will give you what you need. You
they
know.
yeah, they've been very kind and very nice to every band that I've most of the bands I've done with they've gone through them.
Yeah.
I mean, I like and I like how they're not like I will say this: they're not out to mess with you. They are real. They are genuine souls, and they actually do
Mhm.
care about the local bands and stuff. People that order merch from them are very genuine and they're very nice. Like I can get that vibe from them because when I've talked to them, like, and again, I wish I could. One day I will talk to them. Maybe on this podcast, I'll hit them up like, "Hey, you want to come on and talk?" Like, they've always been very, very nice. Like when I talk to them and stuff, they've told me like, "Yeah, being a merch shop, it's awesome." I'm like, "Yeah, I bet," because a lot of bands can come to you and that's why I love them. And yeah, I like buying local merch. I'll buy it over. I'm this thing that's not awful. I'll buy it over a big band. Like I will. Like I'll buy the locals merch. I love it. Have to. What is a dream merch item for you?
Hmm. Um.
Like what? Like if you could
uh,
have a merch item made, like what would you go for?
uh, I don't know. I mean, we have shirts. We have,
CDs.
posters. I'm sorry.
You have CDs.
Yeah, we have CDs. Um. Uh. Maybe. Maybe a vinyl because here the vinyl would be like that'd be like something that's expensive to make, but like
Oh, I know.
yeah.
I got a
But
quote
we
once.
got everything else short of hats, and hats we could easily look into, and I don't think it'd be too much of a headache,
They're just
especially moving it.
well, not
But
hard to move, but they're hard to pack for shows. Like hard, like especially if you're going on a road trip. Sometimes they're very hard to like pack into a box. They don't stack
yeah,
as well as shirts.
yeah. But even so, they'd still be realistic to get your hands on.
Yeah.
The price of vinyl, I feel like it would be like
Oh, it's very
that would be.
expensive. You
It's
gotta.
very expensive. We would need to have like a company behind us in ordering those. Like we would have to be signed for those, I
Yeah,
feel
cause
like.
you have to order in bulk. You can't just order like I want to run a 30. Well, you can't. I think the minimum is 50. And then
It's the same with CDs, but CDs are still easier to move. Or at the
yeah,
very least, I'm not going to dump as much money into a CD.
yeah, disc makers is a great deal.
Yeah, that's how we have them made.
Oh, hey, I had flash drives when I did my short film. I had special flash drives made from them, and they very good deal for like 15 of them. I was like, oh, that's not bad.
Yeah,
Of course, it was unemployment money at the time, so that was easy to blow.
yeah.
But before I wrap, oh, have you guys ever done hoodies?
Um, no, but that is actually on our list for next year. Now we got some money flowing in from merch, and now that we're doing and we're always booking shows. Hoodies is also on our list. So it's just for hoodies, it's just a matter of finding what design we want to do. Like
Yeah.
because we have shirts for the first album cover, we have just plain old Billy Rooster Band shirts. We have, you know, one of the singles from the most recent album. The big question with hoodies is what design to run. Like once we narrow that down, like we'll probably start running those. We might even start running them, next year by the time we start doing our shows next year. You
Hey,
know,
hey,
knock on wood. But
hey, if you get hoodies, I'll buy one. I always love hoodies because you never know when you're gonna need them.
oh yeah.
Especially in the cold, because like I'll wear a
Oh yeah, with
t-shirt.
colder weather going on, that would be an ideal time to get them too.
And what is have you guys ever thought about doing a live album?
A live album?
Like just taking the
Um,
rough mixes from like the soundboard, like getting them like on the flat, like that kind of thing.
we've never thought of it, but I actually wouldn't be like, now that I think about it, it wouldn't be like the worst thing in the world. I mean, you know, just because, I've been told by so many people, you guys are, you're good musicians. One of my best friends, he told me, they're great musicians, they have great music, but man, they are a hell of a live band, you know. And so I would like to make a live album at some point, maybe down the line, just to like kind of see if that's like, the case,
Yeah,
if, our live shows, how they compare to our studio albums. So, it's not out of the question, Um,
yeah,
that's the only answer I can really give you there.
yeah. Well, before I let you completely go, anything you want to plug real quick and all that fun stuff?
Um, yeah, so again, we got November 21st at Autobar with Liam Hooser and Not Now. Then we'll be in DC, making our DC debut on December 12th at Pie Shop. We might have one more date come out for this year. We're starting to book our calendar for next year. At some point next year, we're also going to do a little acoustic EP where we're going to go over our first two albums and pick a couple songs and do acoustic versions of them. But really, we want to do that just for, just revisiting some of these songs will be interesting and, give some people something to look forward to. And I don't have an exact date yet, but I am currently writing the third Billy Rooster Band album. So, stay tuned for that.
All right. Well, Billy, don't go nowhere. I want to make sure I got a lot of it. Make sure there was no hiccups in the sound recording. So give me like 2 seconds.